The arts with Roch Kubatko from MassSports.com School of Rock. Roch, first off, blog entry. When did it start and how many continuous years has it been?
First one with Masson, it was August 1st, 2008 that the streak started. It's been every day since then.
And you're going to blog during the All-Star break?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go to the beach, but I'm going to balance the laptop on my stomach, which makes a really weird tan line. It'll be fine.
Let's talk a little bit about the Orioles' first half of the season. What went right?
I think it starts out really with Manny Machado. I mean, that's where I have to go first because he was the huge story at mini camp, beginning of spring training. Is this guy going to be ready? Is he going to be full go? Can he get through the season? And what kind of player is he going to be? And right now, not to jinx him, it looks a little silly we even had any doubts because he's better than he's ever been. Already career highs, home runs, stolen base, walks. Guy's got 19 home runs. I'm wondering if he's going to be a 30-30 guy. Giving you the defense, he had some rough patch early on. He's making the spectacular plays we're used to. And he's emerged as their leadoff hitter. Who saw that coming? Somebody had to do it. Ends up being Manny. And now it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Leave him where he is. So to me, he's number one. He's a first-half team MVP. And I still think about all the questions and doubts when he showed up at that mini camp. He was trying to prove to us with his 2 surgically repaired knees, he was perfectly fine. He's been outstanding. So you start there. And also the transformation of Ubaldo Jimenez and how huge that's been. A guy that averaged 5.5 walks per 9 innings last year gets it down to 2.9 this year. He made the adjustments he had to make. Arguably the second best starter on this team now if you put Wei and Chen ahead of him with Chen's ERA. But what Ubaldo has done has been huge for them, kind of erasing what happened last year, you're hoping. And it's really been needed because of all the problems they had in the rotation. Also, the dominant back end of the bullpen. Zach Britton, the experiment's over. This guy's legitimately a shutdown dominant closer, 23 saves and 24 chances, 19 in a row. There are no thoughts right now to putting him back in the rotation. I kind of checked on that maybe next spring. No, they love where he is right now. And Darren O'Day, 3 runs allowed his last 32 games. So those two guys, if you can get a lead to them late in the game, you're in really good shape. And also the unexpected contributions of Jimmy Paredes and Chaz Rowe. Paredes has kept that average around 300. Rowe, other than a rough stretch he hit recently where he had 2 runs allowed 3 of his last 4 outings, last night 2 scoreless. He's pitching in clutch situations, close games late in the game. I did not see that coming back in March and even April. So Paredes and Rowe, what they've done have been huge surprises. Those have been big pluses for this team.
So a lot of things went right, but how about what are the things that went wrong?
Well, let's go back to the rotation. Unfortunately, you start with Chris Tillman, and he had the 7.58 ERA after April. And everybody's wondering what's wrong with Chris. He's supposed to be your ace opening day starter. It's gotten much better, but those early struggles were a problem. And, of course, Bud Norris with a 6.98 ERA right now. He's in the bullpen, and I'm told there are no immediate plans right now to get him back in that rotation. Maybe it happens later. They're just hoping he can figure something out in the pen. They're really relying on him as a 15-game winner last year, and it just hasn't been right since the beginning of spring training, and nobody can seem to figure out what's going on there. Also, the lack of production in the corner outfield. It was a gamble. You don't bring back Cruz. You don't bring back Markakis. They thought they were going to be okay. And you can see Buck is still trying to figure out a rotation where he can put guys. Is anybody's going to seize that job? Chris Davis now is a regular right fielder. Didn't see that coming either. But they just didn't get the production that they were looking for in those positions, and that may have to be addressed at the deadline. We'll see. But, Diaz was so big for them last year. He's already gone. Delman Young was so big for them. He's gone. Steve Pearce sitting 218 right now. I think he's had 2 stretches where he's gone like 21 games without a home run. He broke that streak last night with 1. He hasn't produced the way they thought he was going to. So those have been issues for them.
How about a prediction for the second half?
My bold prediction, let me get the crystal ball out. I'm going to not exactly be bold here, but I'm going to say this team, I think, is going to continue to contend through the season. Now, this could end up being like in 2013 where they get eliminated, have a bad series late in September, or they can make the playoffs. I mean, I'm, again, not really going out on a limb here, but I think they're going to contend the whole way through. I don't think they're going to drop out of it. I don't see anybody running away with this division. So I think depending on what moves they make, what moves the other clubs make, I think they're going to be in it. They could win that division, maybe make a wild card, or it could be very close. They fall out of it at the end. But I think they're still going to be there. I don't think there's going to be any point where they're suddenly going to become sellers and start looking, okay, we've got all these pending free agents. Let's go ahead and just get rid of these guys and plan for 2016. They're still all in this year, and I think they're going to make a strong run for it.
You got every angle covered there. Now, I want to ask you this. Last year, they went 20 more games over 500 after the All-Star break. Could they do that in the second half of this year?
I think they could, though. Again, I mean, it's a different team in some places than it was last year, so it is hard to project, but I still think that they're going to be able to score enough runs. If they were just getting a couple hits with runners in scoring position, he may not be having this problem right now. But I think the rotation is going to be okay in the second half. And again, that back end of the bullpen, the defense much better than it was earlier in the year. I still think they're going to be able to contend. I think they can go on a run. They're just kind of waiting to do that.
Don't forget to check him out, MasseySports.com, School of Rock. The blog goes on even when the baseball shuts down for 4 days with the All-Star break.